Hey dudes, let's talk about Chandler Dickinson. Have you guys seen him on YouTube? I used to watch his videos all the time. And then we're going to revisit the Gillette ad. Some time's gone by. I want to test the waters a little bit, see where you guys are at. I love Chandler Dickinson. There was a row about him a few months ago on some blacksmith forum, basically asserting he's a hack and sort of dangerous to the profession. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Chandler Dickinson. He's a blacksmith on YouTube. He makes knives occasionally. He used to make a lot more. Now he does all kinds of different things. And probably about, again, 6 or 7 years ago, when the YouTube knife making, blacksmithing scene was just cranking up, he was probably one of about 4 or 5 people you could find videos on doing this type of thing. And, you know, basically he and Trollsky are the reason I got into knife making and forging, or at least the guys I watched on YouTube. He really drove me into trying it. It gave me the courage to try it after looking at these knives at the store I was working at. And at any rate, I would say that's, you know, I just have such awesome memories of these videos and watching these videos that Chandler made. So basically, he spends hours hammering steel, forge welding, experimenting, taking on these really sort of over his head type challenges in some cases. And he has no formal training, at least none that I can tell. But to my knowledge, he never put himself out there as an expert on anything either. So we were all just along for the ride on his videos. And he's just, is he skilled? In the sense of having formal training and knowing certain techniques, no. He's 100% heart. And that describes him. He hammers and he hammers and he never gives up and he keeps driving forward and he's always trying to move the ball. And he has this awesome video on making a giant metal winged pig that he welded together. And it's very artistic and I thought it was super cool. He has these videos where he's making ram's heads on the ends of railroad spikes, and he's just going at it. It takes him forever. You know, and to hear him sort of drag through the mud on a blacksmith forum, you know, I didn't really understand it. I mean, is he a blacksmith? First of all, yes, by definition, he is a blacksmith. It's how he earns his living. So I would call him a blacksmith. Is he a skilled blacksmith? No, but he gets it done. He's creative. He's got persistence. You know, he's basically one of a few guys on YouTube who shows you that it's okay to fail. It's okay to try. And it's okay not to know something and to keep on going and keep doing it and keep working. It's not like you can go around the corner and get a formal blacksmith training everywhere in the United States. You know, that's actually a pretty rare thing to have someone who will either take you under their wing, show you the ropes in their shop, give you an apprenticeship, or taking a formal class. I mean, those things don't really exist. So to see him going out and doing it and getting it done in sort of this just persistent 100% heart type of fashion really gave me the courage to do it. So, you know, if people want to point out his lack of training or technique, you know, I get it, but I also don't get it. I don't want to make him sound like some sort of buffoon. He's not at all. He's actually good at what he does. He makes ton of things that I could never even come close to making. He's very clever in a lot of ways. He just doesn't have the formal training, a lot of those formal techniques and things like that. And it shows, and I think some people notice that. But again, it's just not why I watch. He's got the heart, the persistence, the drive, and it's so cool to watch that. And he certainly, you know, I have fond memories of watching his videos over and over again 5 or 6 years ago when I was just starting out. So if you guys haven't seen his channel, you should go check it out. I think it's worth a watch. All right, it's been about 6 months, a little bit over that, 7 months maybe. So I just want to go back and revisit this crazy Gillette ad and the state of our media at large, basically. So remember the Gillette ad where it was basically how to be a man, you know, toxic masculinity, the famous toxic masculinity ad. And I don't want to get too far into that whole toxic masculinity discussion per se. And, you know, because you tend to go down that road and then you start bringing in other things and feminism and all kinds of things that aren't going to be productive here in this forum. So I do want to talk about the larger picture. First, let's talk about the ad itself. Gillette and their razor ad informing us all how to be men, telling me I'm a bad dad and a misogynist and I can be better. I'm not the best man a man can get, but well, Maybe someday. Gillette will show me that. They'll teach me everything I need to know in a commercial. And they care about women so much, just so much. How about not at all? You guys have seen the New England's Gillette Stadium cheerleading squad, yeah? Yeah? You know, the ones that have Gillette's logo branded right on their tight uniform butts. Yeah. Yeah, they care about women. You've seen this socially conscious company selling identical razors for men and women, one's colored pink and costs $3 more per package. Yeah, the pink tax. So this is a company that's going to be teaching us about what it is to be a man and have integrity and honesty. And they're going to also do that by inventing these ridiculous new products to try and squeeze $12 out of you for a disposable razor by convincing you that the last generation of razor you bought from them is inferior because the new razor they made shaves 23 microns closer to your face. How they measure that, you know, I would love to see that. 23 microns, you know, great. So, or maybe this ad is just an attention-seeking stunt, like Nike's woke commercials with Kaepernick, one aimed at shifting focus back to their own razors, Gillette's own brand, which has been losing market share since 2010. Like many media companies and manufacturers and retailers, Gillette is jockeying for our eyeballs, using the currency of outrage. And I think this is sort of my main concern with the ad. It falls on so many levels. Some of the things I just mentioned and some others I just don't want to talk about. I know people might disagree, but I think there's a larger picture that we can all sort of grasp onto and agree about. And that's Gillette using the currency of outrage. As we see so many times right now, we spend more time consuming media that makes us angry and hyper emotional. Anything that ignites our righteous indignation and makes us say, "Oh hell yeah," or "Oh hell no," that's what we tend to gravitate to. That's just human nature. YouTube has known this for years. They serve you videos that contain more and more extreme material, video after video, to keep you engaged and on their platform, watching their advertisements. You know, Facebook, it's been found, has done the same thing. In fact, there was a big to-do about that earlier, I think last year, in which they were found systematically to be serving like white hate speech to certain people who were on the platform looking at different things for a certain amount of time, systematically doing that to keep them engaged. So essentially, whether you're printing news or trying to quote unquote go viral with an ad, a tried and true formula is to take a controversial position, often held by maybe a small group of people, and amplify that message, making it appear to be more important, more common, more widely held than it actually is. And sometimes the facts are twisted and realities are distorted in that. But the goal is to pit one tribe against another, bring in that outrage and that righteous indignation again. And as humans, we may know math, but we're still burdened with the limbic system of a monkey. And the media has figured out how to tweak our basest instincts in order to separate us from our time and from our money. And it is driving us crazy. I don't think we've ever been angrier as a society. We've never been this anxious as a society. We mentioned this before, our teenagers and anxiety, even adults. There's never been so much hyperbole served to us for consumption, offered to us as facts or as news or expert opinion. And it's all garbage, all designed in a calculated manner to keep our eyeballs on certain content that is monetized or on a certain product or a company. So if Gillette wants to sound woke by branding men as pigs, I understand why. They're desperate. They had to try something, right? But it doesn't mean I have to like it or I have to agree with it. Some men are pigs. Some are the best parents I've ever seen. Some are the only parent in a household. Some women are pigs. Some are the best parents you've ever seen, etc. It goes on and on. We're all human beings. We all suffer from different flaws and faults and susceptibilities and things like that. And those things are distributed more or less along these curves. And men tend to have, occupy a different part of that curve than women. But there's plenty of overlap. We're all people, we're all human beings. We're all one tribe. I guess that's what I'm getting at. We're being divided by the media for the purpose of money. You know, men, women, black, white, yellow, brown, you know, we all suffer from the human condition and in the human condition. And we all have these chimp brains with this thin neocortex on top that, you know, we struggle to contain that id. And it's something, it's the human condition. We're born and we die and we suffer in between. And sometimes we have joy in between, and we need each other in between, and we love and we hate and we get hurt. And it's a heck of a thing, but we're all in it together. I guess when it comes to this ad, not only do I disagree with the ham-fisted message of the ad, but I resent it as an effort to further the corporate profits by sowing these seeds of tribalism via our sick social media culture that thrives on this outrage currency. And, you know, I think we can all agree on that. I know we can all agree on that. We know that Gillette was not sincere. We've seen their actions as a corporation. I brought that up at the beginning of this. And to be used and abused in that way, and to be pulled apart in that way for the sake of their bottom line, we can do better, man. We can do better. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time.